So why don't I talk about green flags a lot more? Oftentimes I'll go through comment sections where somebody's sharing their experience with motherhood not necessarily being a positive one, and somebody will always comment, why is everything, I keep hearing everybody being negative, where are the good stories? Or if somebody's sharing about an experience in a toxic relationship, I'll see comments of people saying, why don't people talk about the good things in relationships? Are there people in healthy, great relationships? Most definitely. But here's why I don't really focus on that or talk about that as much. Number one, we need both. We need the good stuff and we need the bad stuff. We are not in a perfect world where we are all just floating around on a cloud. So you might have a wonderful experience with your husband, but other women are not going to share that same experience. And there are statistics that back that up. Most women in relationships are not getting treated well. They're either getting abused or just disrespected in some way, even if it's not the extreme of being abused necessarily. Most importantly, our factory default setting as women is to see the good in everyone and give them the benefit of the doubt. And oh, he's just tired. Oh, he's just stressed out because of work. Oh, it's his childhood. We're always looking for the good and the reasons to stay. I was in a relationship with my abusive ex-husband for 5 years, because I was always trying to look for the good and focus on the good and be positive. But the truth was, the bad far outweighed any good moments that we had in that relationship. Most of us, if we are honest, either you were in a bad relationship or you are in one and you're looking for reasons to stay. Maybe it's not that bad. Every couple has hard times. Maybe he doesn't realize what he's doing to me. Maybe if I just talk to him and send him a 15-page text message, he'll wake up to my worth and he'll treat me the way I deserve to be treated. Or I would read articles about women talking about their husbands and the good things that their husbands did, or if I was in a relationship or whatever. And I would think, oh, well, my husband does that. My boyfriend does that. So it must not be that bad. And because he did that one or two positive things, then, I became blind to everything else, and it just canceled everything else out. And that gave me permission to stay in that relationship. It's kind of like, yes, I totally understand that your husband surprised you with a 2-week vacation to Rome and bought you a new wardrobe and gave you spending money and posted a whole paragraph about you on social media about how you're the light of his life and he absolutely adores you. But he also called you a bitch once you got to the hotel room because he felt like it took you too long to get ready for dinner. He also questions every single dime you spend and makes you feel as if you're a child. He also ignores the millions of other requests and things that you've wanted him to do and to do with him. He hasn't given a shit about that stuff. But because he surprised you with a vacation, that green flag alone makes everything else worth it, right? A huge example of this, the women who came before us for a plethora of reasons didn't really share what they were going through or the truth of what they were going through or just how bad things really were for them in their marriages. And of course now, generations later, years later, the truth is finally coming out that all those hard times that they were talking about was abuse, was infidelity, was their husbands just literally basically being a warm body, and there was no love or emotion in that relationship. We've had women who have come before us and they didn't really talk about the truth of motherhood. And as a result, you have a bunch of adults having to go to therapy, dealing with the traumatic shit that their parents said and did to them because their parents didn't have a way to know, hey, maybe not have kids because this is what it's going to be like, or maybe wait until you're in a better situation. And now that we are telling the truth, about our relationships and things are coming to light, now we are able to make better, more informed decisions about how to proceed, whether we should stay, whether we should leave, whether certain things are right for us, because we are being honest. If you see someone making content like myself, where we are just trying to educate women, and the first thing you take away is, oh, this is so negative, we need to talk about the positive. We tried that. We tried that. We tried that. And then we had a bunch of women getting married to husbands who had a whole family on the other side of town. We had a whole bunch of women who centered their husbands and completely ignored their kids. We had a bunch of women who put their sons on a pedestal but treated their daughter like the household manager and she didn't get to have a childhood. We have a whole bunch of women who had kids and had to lock themselves in the bathroom because they were crying, because they were overwhelmed and thought something was wrong with them because they weren't floating on a cloud all the fucking time. We need both. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay? We can't just be on, floating on a moonbeam talking about all the good stuff all the time. We need people to share their bad experiences. That doesn't mean relationships are bad or anything like that. We need the truth. And I think it is inhumane to lie to women or to lie by omission about the truth of how certain things are, because it just doesn't make you feel comfortable. When 1 in every 3 women globally is, will be, or has been in an abusive relationship, we need the ugly truth, whether it makes you comfortable or not, whether you think people are talking about it too much or not. I don't think people are talking about it enough.